What's up? It's been a while. I am not great at recording things, to be quite honest with you. I've been grinding. Business has been absolutely insane. Thank you to all of my customers who are watching this. It truly means the world to me to have so much support and so many people that are recognizing what a real repair shop is and what the benefits of having a dedicated technician who takes you from start to finish to get your vehicle working properly. Today is kind of a special day, and this video is kind of multifaceted. One of the most exciting things that I would love to just get out of the way right away is I just celebrated 1 year of being an entrepreneur last, I think it was Friday or Saturday. It was July 13th or 14th, one of the two, doesn't really matter a whole lot, but a year ago I quit my job as a head technician building some of the baddest Harleys in the US. I gave all of that up because I knew that I could make a difference in the automotive industry. And here I am a year later, proving that day in and day out. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of the work. I'm proud of the community that is being built. And the sky is the limit. Literally, I see no limit to what I'm building here, and I'm beyond excited to keep going with it. So cheers to 1 year of being an entrepreneur. 1 year of Milo's Motors is in October, so super stoked for that. Yeah, the second main reason I wanted to make this video, and the topic for the remainder of the video, has to do with honesty in the automotive industry. This is part 3. Today, I'm going to be hitting on quote tactics from dealerships and shops that are trying to squeeze every dollar out of you. I want to preface this video a little bit by saying I will try to keep it neutral emotionally, but I have a tendency to get fired up over stuff like this just because it hits close to home for me. It's egregious. I think it's awful. And the world at large is so into this like money grabbing right now, it seems, at least from my perspective. And again, it's really just egregious, and I think that it's completely unnecessary, and I think it's why groceries are $150 for a week, and why you can't go to lunch for less than $20. Like, everything is expensive for a reason, and I think that this whole system of trying to upsell the customer on absolutely everything is one of the key reasons why. So let's jump right into it. So what I've got here is a quote from a dealership, Young Kia in Layton, Utah. I do not give a shit if they see this. Bite me. You know, like I'm gonna trash you right now. Like this is garbage. Back to neutrality. What I've got here is a quote from this dealership for a customer that just brought me a 2020 Kia Sedona with 125,000 miles on it. This is his wife's car. They've got kids, so she's running around with it, putting a lot of miles on it. And so he took it to the dealership, and he was like, you know, it feels kind of sluggish. I know that I'm probably missing some maintenance stuff, so I would like you guys to look at it, go through it, and let me know what I should do. First and foremost, I don't think that that is the right way to go to the dealership. Like, I'm not faulting this customer at all, because he's admitting, you know, like, I am not 100% certain what my car needs, so tell me what it needs. And somebody like me hears that and goes, okay, what is absolutely necessary? What is scheduled maintenance that may be a little early but would be good to do? Because keep in mind, they're using this car to run their kids around. They're putting 1,000 miles on this car per month, at least. The dealership hears that and thinks, gold mine. Like, we can upsell this guy on every little thing and he might say yes. So why not? Let's just throw everything at him. Let's throw the book at him and see what he wants to do. The final price tag for all of their recommendations on this 2020 Kia Sedona with 120,000 miles on it is a shocking $6,049.43, not including the $100 that this inspection cost. So $61.50, let's call it for conversation's sake. $6,150 for a 2020. Insane. So let's get into it. The under the diagnosis for the running sluggish, the technician claimed the vehicle is running rough and there are no codes. I inspected the oil and found that there is no oil showing on the dipstick and the oil filter housing is leaking. Recommend lube, oil filter, which oil change, spark plugs, fuel system service, and repair oil leaks before continuing the diagnostic on this vehicle. Sounds pretty reasonable. Up front, that sounds pretty okay. So I'm not necessarily putting this on the technician from here on out, right? Technician did his job. I wouldn't say it's running rough. I would agree with the sluggish part, but it idles great. It revs smooth. Like, there's no misfires. That's why there are no codes. Like, it's not running rough. It's just not running as good as it could be. Just to establish that up front. So, move on. And the customer wanted them to check his wheel bearings. And they did that. And they were fine. Cool. Whatever. Moving on. They recommended a 4-tire changeover. No idea why. Those tires that are on it are from 2025 and they've still got 90% life on them. No, I don't know what that's about. They recommended a wheel alignment for 140, which is pretty standard. But why? There was no shake. There was no steering issue. There was no suspension issue. No tire wear issue. They're just recommending an alignment. Okay. Engine performance restoration service. $182.49. And it is noted that is performed with the oil change. Not sure if that's an additive on top of the oil change. Doesn't really say that it includes the oil change. Let's double click into this a little bit. That engine performance restoration service, complete and utter bullshit. It's complete bullshit. What they do is they drain the oil or they keep the oil in it. They add an engine oil additive, which they have added here as a separate line item at $22, which is kind of reasonable. They add it, they run it, they drain it. How does that cost $182? Your guess is as good as mine. I am not sure, because the process literally takes 15 minutes, especially when you have a lift and dedicated technicians that can get that done in 5 minutes, you know, like superfluous, completely meaningless, especially because the oil wasn't extremely dark, it was low because of the leaks, which we will get to here in a second. It's not like the customer came in and the engine oil was pitch black and they remove a valve cover and there is a bunch of sediment in there. Like that, at that point, an engine flush is too little too late. Like, it's not going to do anything. Fair enough. So this is like preventative, but $182 for that. That's insane. That's nuts. Moving on. Cooling system service and cooling system conditioner. $250. I mean, for me, I quote coolant flushes at 1.2 hours. And let's see what I quoted this guy. So for the coolant flush, this is not with a cooling system conditioner, to be completely fair, because I don't really fully believe in that. I believe that if you service it on time, you're fine. Again, superfluous upcharge. $250. I can do it for $129. And that's the right coolant, that's the right quantity, that is the labor that goes into it. Nothing superfluous about that. And I understand that my hourly rate is lower, so of course it's going to be a little cheaper, so it's not like, I'm not trying to say like scam, but the system conditioner, it's just superfluous. And remember this service for later. I will make a call back to this, but remember that. So cooling system service and system conditioner, $250. Okay. Next thing, brake fluid exchange, $190. That's pretty reasonable, actually. That's fine based on mileage. The service history shows no record of the brake fluid ever being changed, and looking at it, it was like a little dark amber. So I recommended it as well. And You know, like for me, that's a $120 service. So for them coming in at $190, that's not too bad. Nothing wrong there. Transmission fluid exchange, $280, pretty reasonable. That's pretty close to me. I quoted him $257. So again, pretty fair there. Moving on. This is where it gets a little more stupid. Fuel injection service, decarb, throttle body service. What this means is they will put fuel additive in your fuel, and they will remove the throttle body and spray carb cleaner on it, and then reinstall it. That's it. For $230. And what is the purpose of that? Because most of the time, that throttle body's probably not going to be all gunked up. Like, the air filter does a great job of cleaning everything. The PCV system on a car that's that old is not going to be spraying a bunch of oil mist in there. Like, the engine isn't going to have excessive blow-by, pushing all that crankcase vapor into there. And I'm pretty sure on that model, it's post-throttle body anyway that the crankcase ventilation goes into, so superfluous. Completely garbage. $230 to go and then reinstall it. I wouldn't dream of charging that much for that. Maybe there's more that goes into it, like the fuel injection service and decarb, maybe. But if you're meaningfully taking like engine components and cleaning them and getting the carbon off of them, it's going to take longer than this $230 allows for, because I'm sure that their labor rate is about $180 an hour. That's basically enough time to take the throttle body off and put it back on and clean it. Like $230, that wouldn't do anything really. But again, maybe there's more to it than I thought, than I think. But for the most part, when a shop recommends this to you, it is complete bullshit. A throttle body clean, a throttle body service, it's like 3 bolts and a damn, again, spray of carb cleaner. Like, unless that shit is caked, bullshit. Moving on. Let me take a drink. Need to take a drink. It is hot as shit here. Muggy. Muggy. For Utah. Anyway, replace cabin air filter and perform AC refresh. $210. A cabin air filter takes all of 5 minutes. A cabin air filter itself is going to be $40 or cheaper. And $40 is if you get a HEPA filter. And the AC refresh, maybe that means hook their machine up and top it off with refrigerant. Maybe. But does it need that? Who knows? They just threw it out there. They just said, you know, it's summer, it's hot. Let's refresh the AC for whatever reason. $210. You decide. Next one. Replace engine air filter. $46. Pretty reasonable. But it didn't need it. Filter wasn't dirty. It was just something that they threw at him, of course. Next one. Replace serpentine belt. $155. And that's fair, I guess. Because, like, when you're marking parts up, which I do, and you're putting the labor time into that, okay. $150, But the fact of the matter is that drive belt was flawless. There were no cracks. There was no wear on the smooth side. It was fine. It looked new within the past year, like replaced within the past year. And they just threw it at him. Just, you know, what's another way to get $160 out of this guy? let's just replace shit that doesn't need to be replaced. It's an ongoing theme here, if you haven't already noticed, and it's about to get worse. But $155 for that bad boy that does not need to be done. Gotta love it. This one, call back to earlier when we were talking about the engine coolant flush and the coolant additive, whatever was entailed there, you know, fucking $200, whatever that was, not too bad. This is where it gets ridiculous. Replace upper and lower radiator hoses, heater hoses, perform cooling system service, replace drive belt, perform vehicle alignment with replacement of engine. What? $1,124.62. Let's double click into this. Replace upper and lower radiator hoses. There was no signs of wear. There were no leaks. That is superfluous. Heater hoses. Again, no leaks, no breakdown, superfluous. Replace drive belt. I guess they're throwing the drive belt into this. I don't really know, because when you're recommending all of this and saying we need to do all of this, but then grouping this together, I don't know what they're thinking there. I don't know how they do that. Just kind of seems bullshit to me. Like they're counting on naivety to say, yep, let's go ahead and do all of it. So they group this to make it a big ticket item, but then they sell you the smaller ticket item in place of it, if that makes sense. So it's like this job is mainly the upper and lower radiator hoses, the heater hoses, and the cooling system service, but they're charging the alignment separate. They're doing the drive belt separate, and this end part with replacement of engine. Ooh, it's just like they're throwing packaged bullshit into it. They're not taking the time to say, what is this specific situation? Okay, I'm going to quote for this specific situation. They're just doing a group, $1,100, throw it out there and see if they want to do it. Superfluous and complete bullshit. And how are you going to recommend a coolant flush twice on the same ticket and charge both of them? That's crazy. Next one, replace spark plugs, $594.70. That motor is kind of ridiculous. You do have to take the intake manifold off to get to the back 3 cylinders. So even for my quote, I was right around $400 with that. That one actually might be more reasonable considering the dealership hourly rate than I previously thought. So it is expensive, but I'll give it a pass because I recommended spark plugs as well, with the sluggish feeling and the lack of that service being done in the service history, because this customer has mostly gone through the dealership, so the service history is pretty reliable. Yeah, I saw that the spark plugs hadn't been replaced at all over the life of the vehicle. I'm sure they have been, but just haven't been reported. But the customer has owned it for 60,000 miles and hasn't done the plugs. And again, coupled with the sluggish feeling, I'm like, let's just do that. Like, I would recommend doing that. That's not a bad idea. So pass on that. That's okay. Next one, 5,000 mile synthetic 5K SIN dash full synthetic oil change, change engine oil, oil filter, and perform an alignment check. $111. Which is pretty reasonable, but when you take into account that the oil change has already... Oh wait, no, that's to come. Again, why are they pushing the alignment check so goddamn bad? I don't understand. Like, there's no fucking reason for it. It's just a waste of time. But I guess when you have bodies like a dealership does, and you can just do an alignment check in 15 minutes, okay, I can kind of see that. If I had an alignment rack, I might do the same. But the oil change is kind of ridiculous, because also remembering back here, the engine performance restoration service was $182 on top of this oil change at $111. So they want $293 for an engine performance restoration and oil change, which is the same damn thing with engine oil additive. Give me a break. Almost $300 for that. That's superfluous and bullshit. The overarching theme here. Next one, remove and replace oil filter housing. This is legit because it is leaking. I did verify that it is leaking, but they want $317.29 for that, and that includes the oil filter, the housing, and the labor. So that oil change didn't include the filter, it sounds like, and it's still $111 on top of the restoration. So ridiculous, just ridiculous. And with that oil filter housing, they're going to use a plastic one again because that's OEM, and it's going to have the same issue in, I don't know, 30,000 miles, 40,000 miles, because they just leak. The plastic ones just leak because what engineer thought it was good to make such a critical engine component out of plastic and such a high heat and like constantly messed with part? Because you're taking that oil filter off every 5,000 miles, you're torquing on that damn thing, and plastic is gonna move. But what do I know? I'm not an engineer. I just think it's ridiculous. I wouldn't pay that to get the same part that's gonna fail. Like when I quoted the customer on this, I went with an aluminum housing, which is a lot less likely to fail. That's just me. These guys aren't gonna do that because the dealership only goes OEM. And then the next one. Remove and reseal the lower oil pan. And if you are familiar with this engine, the oil pan is very easy to get to. It's like 16 bolts. You take it off, you scrape the sealant off, you put new sealant on, you reinstall it, and you're hunky-dory. They want $414.17 for that. And this one says includes the oil. So the engine oil change back here for $111, what does that include? By the sounds of it, it doesn't include anything. It's an add-on. So, like, you can see here that this method of quoting is taking similar jobs, splitting them, and putting them in different orders because this is far away from the engine oil change. And that's far away from the engine restoration bullshit. So it seems like it's different jobs. So then the customer sees that and says, oh, okay, like, needs more work than I thought, but like this makes sense, this makes sense, this makes sense, okay, do it. And they're essentially taking one job, splitting it into 3, and charging a shit ton for each one. That's so gross. That's disgusting. Like, let's take a minute and just soak that in. This service advisor, and not just this one, any service advisor at a dealership, is trained to quote things so that they make the most money possible by any means necessary. It doesn't matter if it needs it. All that matters is if it gets sold or not. Take a minute and think about that. What kind of society, what kind of structure allows that and says, yep, that's just fine? No wonder groceries are so expensive. No wonder gas is so expensive. No wonder insurance is expensive. All these things that are just outrageously expensive, this is the same method. It's the same method. It's splitting things up, making you think you're paying for different things, but you're not. And it's deriving value from nothing. It's inflation. It's pure inflation. And it's, again, just disgusting. I hate this. Looking at this paper gives me so much dread. But there's more. There is more. There is one last big ticket item, which is the biggest reason why I wanted to make this video, and also the reason why the customer brought the vehicle to me in the first place. And that is remove and replace engine mounts, which on this vehicle there are 3. One is technically like a transaxle mount, but 3 engine/transaxle mounts. And these guys want $1,650.45 to replace 3 of the easiest damn mounts I've ever seen. The third one, the transaxle mount, is a little more difficult, to be fair. But when I quoted this customer for that, I was right around $950, $960, somewhere in there. Almost half of what they quoted. Almost $1,700 for engine mounts. And it's like, okay, are they blown? This technician claimed they were collapsed. Collapsed, which is a vibrant word to use. It is a very descriptive word that's like, yep, these things are probably cooked. I saw that note and I was like, oh man, maybe I'll poke my head under there and they'll be leaking and maybe bushings will be torn and all that shit. As you would expect, out of a 120,000 mile car that is only 6 years old, all of the mounts were just fine. There was no excessive movement, there was no leakage, there were no torn bushings, there was nothing. They looked fresh, which they should, because again, 120,000 miles, 6 years old. Give me a shovel. Give me a break. Like, that is bend over and puke worthy. You want to upsell me $1,700 worth of shit I don't need? Are you joking? Are you joking? Like, we can take every other recommendation on here and completely forget about it and just take this one. And what the fuck? What is that? That's disgusting. That's terrible. Like, oh my God, again, going back to the societal structure that we're in right now, where it's like everything is so expensive for seemingly no reason, but we're assured time and time again that it's like, yes, it is expensive, but it's needed. You need this. It's more convenient. It keeps you safe. They use these buzzwords all the damn time, and then you don't know any better. Because in this situation, who the hell knows anything about motor mounts? As Joe Blow, I don't know shit about engine mounts. Why would I? It's a niche thing. It's like one of those things that you just don't know about it until it comes up, right? And like, this dealership is using that as leverage. Like this massive lever that they're like, this guy has no idea what an engine mount actually does. I'm not saying this customer doesn't. I'm just saying, like, general idea. This guy has no damn idea what these engine mounts are supposed to look like. Let's sell him $1,700 worth of work. And so much of the time, the customer is going to see that and say, you know, the dealership knows better than me. Like, they know cars, I don't. And I've got this weird stuff going on. Maybe it has something to do with it. And the really shitty part about that, like, kind of going off on tangents, right? Just going through this whole situation. If this person is like, huh, would that have anything to do with why my vehicle is running sluggish? I can tell you what the service advisor would say. They would say, it might. A pure political answer. Leaving it nice and broad. It might. Because it might. But it might not. They can't say for sure because it's not, one, they know that it's not necessary. Two, they don't fully understand, like, the service advisor has no fucking idea what's going to fix this car anyway because it's a service advisor, they're not a technician. Respectfully, you just don't know, you don't know what's going on unless you've been in the field for a long time. But at that rate, you're not quoting stupid shit like this, I wouldn't think. And three, again, going back to the societal structure that we are in right now, where it is upsell, 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 upsell. The service advisor is going to tell you whatever you would like to hear to sell you on this. They're going to stay broad. They're going to stay not lying, but not honest at the same time. They're going to ride that line where it's like, they can't get blamed for anything, Because let's just run through this scenario. They replace the motor mounts, nothing changes, still runs sluggish, still has whatever symptom they thought the engine mounts would fix. The service advisor will go, oh man, like, stuff like that happens, some things can be off and it doesn't fix the issue and blah, 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 blah. And to be fair, sometimes that is fair. That is true. But in this situation, when you are upselling somebody on something that they don't need, and then you're giving political answers of maybe it will, maybe it won't, but looking at it and feeling it, it's not wrong, that's disgusting. It's disgusting. And it's completely dishonest. It's not, like, I don't understand how people can sleep okay at night knowing that they quote stuff like that. How? How can you sleep well knowing I just took $1,700 from this single mother or this, like, lower middle class family that is struggling to get by, and I took $1,700 from them just because my tech said so. And the tech is trained on upsells as well. They're all trained on upsells. That guy took 2 seconds to look at those motor mounts, or even like conceptualize the idea of what's going on, and let's throw motor mounts at it. That's not a real diagnosis, and it's not a real recommendation. It's complete bullshit. It's complete money grabbing. It's disgusting. So all of those services, we've been keeping a tally, adds up to $6,049.43 motherfucking cents. I feel like I don't have to say much more, but I'm going to. So let's wrap this up. 90% of those recommendations were complete and utter horseshit. They were full of buzzwords, full of things that can easily be explained as, maybe it works. Oh, it's maintenance. Doesn't look like you've ever had this done before. Why not? Why not? Clearly, the customer did not believe it, thank goodness, and they came to me. And you want to know what the significance of that is? A dealership is supposed to be the most professional, best, highest level of service. And it makes sense. Like, it's you can't argue it. They have the best service information. They have all the right parts. All of their techs are trained on that specific platform, on that specific brand. They're not bouncing around from brand to brand. They know exactly what's going on and what to do with your vehicle. They have the best equipment, the best workflow, the best shop area, because dealerships are cleaner than anything else. Like, I don't care who you are, most of the time, well, I guess I should say most of the time, dealerships are cleaner than independent shops. Anyway, I digress. Dealerships are top of the food chain, and yet this car is with me. An entrepreneur who I just mentioned has been in the game for 1 year, and this shop has been in the game for 9 months. 9 months, and I am taking business from dealerships because some people are aware enough to look at that price tag and say, wow, that seems like complete bullshit. I should go somewhere else. Dealerships are worried about making money, right? Because they have a shitload of overhead. They got techs to pay. They've got bills to pay. So they need money. They need a lot of money. And it's clear that they believe that they should get as much money as possible from each and every car. Like, just shoot for the moon. Quote, $6,000 worth of work for a 6-year-old vehicle. Clearly, that's not a winning model. I can't believe I am having to point this out as a technician who has been in his own business for 9 months. If you were to quote that guy on what he needed, strictly what he needed, you would have made $2,000. If you threw out all of the superfluous flushing, the superfluous cooling system optimization, the fucking AC redick, like all of that BS thrown in there, if you were to take all of that out and do the leak, the transmission service, the brake fluid service, the engine oil service, and that's it, you would have made money. He would have stayed. But instead, you throw the book at them and they leave. No wonder you don't have any cars. Like, could it be any more obvious? No wonder you don't have technicians that want to work for you. No wonder you don't have cars coming in and out. No wonder you're having to quote $6,000 worth of work on a car that needs maybe $1,700, $2,000 worth of work. No wonder. It's greed. It is pure greed. It's pure numbers chasing. It's corporate America bullshit. And it's horrid. It's gross. Because when you can't even trust the top dog and your only option is a guy that has been in the industry, in the business for 9 months, your business model is broken and your structure is broken. There's no trust anymore. The fact that they can trust me more than an established dealership is absolutely hilarious. It's hilarious. I love it because it benefits me, and they should trust me because I do damn good work and I don't do a bunch of superfluous bullshit. So it makes sense to me. But if the dealership was out here doing the same quality of work as me and doing the same quality of quotes and recommendations, they would be making bank and I would be dry. Because why would you take your car to a guy doing it out of his driveway if you could just take it to the dealership who is the most professional out there and know that they're doing it correctly and know that they're not upselling you? Why does it take a fucking driveway technician to quote things correctly? I really hope that there are service advisors that see this. Maybe nobody sees this. Maybe this just goes out in the ether and I get, a couple hundred views and my core audience is happy. I hope that this reaches somebody that is quoting something like this, or that is seeing this on a daily basis. If you're a technician and you're seeing your service advisor make some crazy recommendations, I want you to wake up. Like, wake the fuck up. What are we doing? What are you doing? It's insanity. It's insanity. It's inexcusable and it's broken. It's the reason why dealerships suck. It's the reason why the technician shortage is at an all-time high. It is the reason why I can make it in this industry because I'm honest and I'm going back to the fucking roots. I'm not charging out the ass for stuff that shouldn't be charged out the ass. It is taking me to do that. It's taking people like me to do that. These corporations are done. Like, they don't give a shit. As long as the number on paper looks okay, they're fine. But really, at the end of the day, does it look okay? Again, wake up. Wake the fuck up. There is a reason why people are not going to dealerships anymore. And this is why. Like, I can point it out to you plain as day. Like, if this whole video has amounted to anything, let it be this one thing. You can't shove shit down somebody's throat and expect them to just take it in stride. These are the last straws on the camel's back. The camel's back is, middle-class America. Anybody that doesn't have $6,000 to just throw at a car. These are the final straws. Because, again, it's getting ridiculous. Society, this economy is getting absolutely ridiculous to where, it shouldn't exist that such an egregious quote should be the norm, should be expected when you go to a dealership. The system is breaking, and we are on the spearhead of it. I will not rest until this system is fucking fixed. And I'm not saying that I'm going to go after these corporations and put them under, because that's ridiculous. What I am saying is I will build, and am currently building, the next generation of automotive repair. I am restructuring the expectations that people have when they bring their car to a technician, to a shop. And I will not rest until it is larger than life, until it affects more people than this bullshit affects. That might be a stretch, but it sounds cool. In summary, final thoughts: dealerships are scam artists, for real, in every sense of the word. I didn't always think that, but with quotes like these, it is clear that service advisors and technicians are trained to make recommendations on absolutely anything. And they are justified because upper management says, we'll give you a bonus. We will bribe you with money if you get this done. It's the only reason why they're doing it. If there was no incentive behind it, this guy would have been out of there with $2,000 worth of work instead of $6,000. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. I know this was a long one, real yappy one. I mean, I just love yapping, to be quite honest with you. I need to do more repair videos, but I don't really feel the need to do like step-by-step repair videos, because I feel like there's plenty of that out there. And for me, being a solo business owner trying to get these jobs done so that I can make some money, just doesn't really make sense. But I will try to do better. I need to do better. Yeah. Again, let me know what you think down below. Let me know what the most egregious quote a dealership has given you is. I would love to hear it. That was episode 3 of Normalizing Honesty in the Automotive Industry. And stay safe out there. There are people coming for your money, and it is your job to protect it. Educate yourself, find people you trust, and reject the status quo. Until next time, my friends.